Good morning. It's my pleasure to call this meeting of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality to order. Today is February 13th, 2019. The time is 9:30. With us today are Commissioner Emily Lindley and our General Counsel, Ms. Mary Smith. And Ms. Smith, I'll ask you to begin the proceedings.
Item number 1 is a hearing request on the application by Aqua Texas Incorporated for a new TPDES permit number WQ00156420001 to authorize the discharge of treated domestic wastewater. The parties have been notified that the commissioners will not take oral argument but may ask questions. A representative of the applicant is signed in and available to answer questions. Their presence will be noted for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner Lindley. As I look at this, 3 of our 4 requesters, I think, have stated in relevant material terms how their personal interests might be affected by the proposed permit. Those are Mr. Kempe, Ms. Strimple, and Mr. Goldberg. Mr. Stewart, however, states only generalized concerns without really tying it back to his personal interests, in my view. So I would make an affected party determination accordingly.
I would agree with those 3. Yes.
Okay, so moving on to the issues. There were several issues raised, and let me sort of tick through them here. I think we have referable issues on the requester's health, the health of aquatic life, wildlife, and livestock, the protectiveness of water quality and uses, consistency with the total maximum daily loads, consistency with Texas's regionalization policy, compliance with anti-degradation requirements, whether the applicant has performed proper dissolved oxygen modeling, whether the effluent will comply with toxicity criteria, and whether the proposed site is appropriate. Further, whether the proposed authorization is protective of groundwater and will prevent nuisance. Does that comport with your view of the
Yes, sir.
issues?
I agree.
And I think I'd further recommend that we'd refer this to ADR and would suggest 180 days for SOA to get back to us with a PFD.
I agree. If you're ready for a motion,
I will entertain a
one.
motion. Thank you.
I move that we grant the hearing request of Steve Kempe, Joyce Strimple, and Jerry Goldberg, and deny the hearing request of Tom Stewart. Refer the matter to the Commission's Alternative Dispute Resolution Program to run concurrent with the SOA preliminary hearing scheduling efforts. Refer the application to SOA for a contested case hearing on the following issues. A, whether the draft permit contains sufficient provisions to protect the health of the requester's wildlife, aquatic life, and livestock in the area. B, whether the proposed discharge under the draft permit will be protective of water quality and the uses in the receiving waters under the applicable surface water quality standards and 30 TAC Chapter 307. Whether the draft permit complies with TCEQ's anti-degradation rules and regulations. Whether the effluent limits in the draft permit are consistent with the applicable TMDL standards. Whether the dissolved oxygen modeling included all relevant parameters to accurately assess the effluent's impact on water quality. Whether the treated effluent will comply with the toxicity criteria in 30 TAC 307.6. Whether the proposed site or the wastewater treatment facility will comply with the applicable location requirements in 30 TAC Chapter 309. Whether the draft permit contains sufficient provisions to prevent nuisance orders. Whether the draft permit is adequately protective of groundwater quality. Whether the issuance of the proposed permit is contrary to the state's regionalization policy, and whether the Commission should deny or alter the terms and conditions of the proposed permit based on consideration of the state's policy to encourage and promote regionalization under Texas Water Code 26.081, and whether the application is deficient because of a letter of agreement was not provided from the sludge disposal site indicated in the application, and set the hearing duration of 180 days from the date of the preliminary hearing until the proposal for decision is issued.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item number 2 is a hearing request on the application by Norhill Energy LLC for a new TPDES permit number WQ00156650001 to authorize the discharge of treated domestic wastewater. The parties have been notified that the commissioners will not take oral argument but may ask question. A representative of the applicant is signed in and available to answer questions. We also have a representative from Rockwall County here, but we have previously notified the parties that there will be no opportunity to speak. Both of their presences will be noted for the record.
Thank you. So, Commissioner, we have two requesters on this one. Mr. Gregson did not file his comments during the comment period, and so we can't consider him an affected person. Mr. Davis, on the other hand, did make timely filings and has met their prerequisites in terms of raising concerns about personal impacts, specifically to aquatic life and animals on his property. So I would consider Mr. Davis an affected person and refer on that particular issue.
I agree.
I'm ready to entertain a motion.
The one thing I was going to propose before I do a motion is that we set the duration of the hearing a little bit shorter time frame, since it's just one individual and one issue.
Sure.
So I'm going to propose 150 days as opposed to 180, if that works for you.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
I move that we grant the hearing request of Kerry M. Davis Jr. and deny the hearing request of Adam Gregston. Refer the application to SOA for a contested case hearing on the following issue: whether the draft permit is protective of aquatic life and animals in the area, and set a hearing duration of 150 days from the date of the preliminary hearing until the proposal for decision is issued.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 3 is a hearing request on the application by Louis Vuitton U.S. Manufacturing Incorporated for a new TPDES permit number WQ 00156-22001. The parties have been notified that the commissioners will not take oral argument but may ask questions. Late yesterday afternoon, the commission received a motion requesting leave to provide oral argument from hearing requesters Mr. Moore and M6 Cattle Company. OGC recommends not taking up that motion since the parties had already been notified that the commissioners will not take oral argument and their timely pleadings are already before the commission. Does the commission want to take up that motion?
No, I think we won't take it up.
I agree.
Yeah, I view that in the nature of an untimely reply, and under the applicable statutes, we're barred from doing that.
I agree.
In my view.
Yes.
So getting to the merits of the requests, we have 9 requests for contested case hearing in this matter. The requesters express concerns about runoff along the discharge route and to Lake Alvarado, and point out that their concerns about effects to wildlife and livestock and recreational interests. In my view, those don't rise to the level of, for any of the requesters, personal justiciable interests, principally because the impact of this particular facility is so minimal. And I'd like to share a few thoughts on that sort of factor into that. We're talking about 13,000 gallons per day of discharge, which is slightly less than leaving a garden hose running. It's domestic wastewater. We're not talking about any processed water on this application. And before the water, the treated water will even leave the applicant's site, after meeting our permit limits, it will travel through 2 ponds that will provide additional opportunity for natural filtration. So I see the impacts to the discharge route in the lake as being so minimal that a contested case is simply not called for here.
I completely agree.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to that effect then.
Okay. I move that we deny all hearing requests, issue new TPDES permit number WQ 00156220001 to Louis Vuitton U.S. Manufacturing Incorporated as recommended by the Executive Director, and adopt the Executive Director's response to comments.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 4 is a petition for the creation of the Caris Municipal Management District of Tarrant County. The petitioners should present the matter, followed by other interested persons, the ED, and then OPIC. And the Office of General Counsel recommends initially limiting parties to 5 minutes for presentations. The petitioners may have some time for rebuttal as they bear the burden of proof.
And do we have the petitioner here? Why don't you come forward, sir? If you state your name and affiliation for the record.
My name is David Hawes. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm the representative of the Nehemiah Company, or the Karis Management District in Crowley, Texas.
And you have an opportunity, a few minutes, to present your petition to the extent you want to add anything to what's already been filed.
I really didn't want, I came to just answer questions. It's a straightforward municipal management district, provides supplemental services. The city has a tax increment reinvestment zone to be putting in the infrastructure, all the water, sewer, drainage, and paving. The district may or may not issue bonds to, contract revenue bonds with the TERS to pay for that infrastructure. It's real simple, straightforward, all under the law like we do across the state. So it's very simple and straightforward.
Thank you, Mr. Haas. Any questions?
I don't have any. No.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. ED.
Good morning. My name is Kayla Murray, and I'm an attorney with the Environmental Law Division, representing the Executive Director, and with me is Chris Ullman with the District Section. The ED received a petition from the Nehemiah LLC for the creation of the Karis Municipal Management District of Tarrant County, pursuant to Chapter 375 of the Texas Local Government Code. We have reviewed the petition and concluded that all applicable requirements have been met. The ED recommends granting the petition for this district creation, and we are available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Not this time.
And there are no other interested persons signed in to speak?
We have another interested person, but who has not indicated that they wish to speak, and their presence will be noted for the record.
Okay. Mr. McWhirter.
OPIC agrees with the Executive Director and recommends granting the petition for the creation of Karis Municipal Management District of Tarrant County.
Thank you. Yeah, it appears to me that the petition meets all the requirements and that the district is feasible and necessary and would benefit the public within the meaning of the Texas Local Government Code. So it's my view that we ought to grant the petition.
I agree. So I will move that we grant the petition for the creation of the Karis Municipal Management District of Tarrant County and issue the Executive Director's proposed order creating the district and appointing 5 initial directors.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Item number 5 is the consideration of the nomination and appointment of one person to the Tax Relief for Pollution Control Property Advisory Committee. The Executive Director's staff is here to present the item.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners, General Counsel, Public Interest Counsel. On behalf of the Executive Director, I am Kelly McKenzie with the Air Quality Division. With me is Don Redman with the Environmental Law Division. As described in Section 11.31 of the Texas Tax Code, the TCEQ established permanent advisory committee to advise the Commission regarding the implementation of the Tax Relief for Pollution Control Property Program. As appraisal district representative position is available because one of the 13 members whose term expires on December 31, 2021, resigned his position effective December 4, 2018. Executive Director staff posted notice of the vacancy in the Texas Register and on the TCEQ website, solicited and received applications, and submitted the applications to the Commission with a recommendation for appointment to the committee. Staff respectfully requests that the Commission appoint Mr. Darrell D. Attaway to the Advisory Committee as an appraisal district representative for a term to expire on December 31, 2021. We thank you for your consideration of this matter and are available to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Not this time.
No one else has signed in, so Mr. McWhirter.
OPIC recommends approval of the resolution appointing Mr. Attaway to the open position for an appraisal district representative on the Tax Relief for Pollution Control Property Advisory Committee as recommended by the Executive Director.
Thank you. And I want to start by thanking Mr. Frazell for his service on the committee. I want to thank both of our well-qualified nominees for their willingness to serve I do agree with the resolution and think we should move forward with it.
I agree. I move that we adopt the proposed resolution appointing Daryl D. Attaway to the Tax Relief for Pollution Control Property Advisory Committee as a representative of an appraisal district to complete the remaining term of C. Wayne Frizzell, set to expire on December 31st, 2021.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 6 is the consideration of gifts and donations of $500 or more in value given to the TCEQ, submitted for approval in accordance with Chapter 575 of the Texas Government Code concerning acceptance of gifts and donations by certain state agencies. The Executive Director's staff is here to present the item.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, General Counsel, and Public Interest Counsel. For the record, my name is Beth West of the General Law Division, representing the Executive Director. And before you are the gifts and donations received by the agency within the last 90 days. In accordance with Chapter 575 of the Government Code, the Executive Director has accepted these gifts and respectfully requests your acknowledgement of these gifts. Happy to answer questions.
None for me, Commissioner.
None for me either.
No one signed in, so Mr. McWhorter.
OPIC recommends approval of the resolution acknowledging acceptance of the listed gifts and donations as presented by the Executive Director.
I agree, and I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve issuance of the resolution that acknowledges the Executive Director's acceptance of the gifts and donations contained in the TCEQ Interoffice Memorandum to the Commissioners dated January 25th, 2019, with the caption of docket number 2019-0008-MIS.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you.
That takes us to the enforcement docket, items 7 through 36. The Executive Director's staff is here to present these matters. On items 8 and 30, we have several individuals who have signed in and indicated that they don't wish to speak unless the Commission has questions, and their presence will be noted for the record.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioner, General Counsel, and Public Interest Counsel. For the record, my name is Melissa Cordell of the Enforcement Division, and with me today are Brian Sinclair, also of the Enforcement Division, and Charmaine Backens and Janice Hernandez of the Litigation Division, representing the Executive Director. Pending before you are items 7 through 36. The total assessed administrative penalties are $1,086,226, with $207,899 deferred, $208,538 applied toward supplemental environmental projects, and $669,789 to the general revenue. We respectfully request approval of these items and are available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioner Lindley, any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
I do have one on item 31 concerning Beechwood Water Supply Corporation. And I don't question the administrative order. I feel like that's appropriate. I'm wondering if you're in a position to offer any insight about the prospects for bringing this entity into compliance.
Yes, Chairman. There are a lot of violations, and in like so many other systems, small systems, and this one's a surface water plant. They've got challenges. They have been responsive and cooperative, and we're optimistic that they will be able to do what they need to come into compliance. That assistance has been provided to them in the past, and further assistance can be provided to them. But we're, as long as they're working with us, we're committed to working with them. And most of the violations that they have are not extremely serious. They do have the 2 disinfectant byproduct violations that are in the order, along with several operations and maintenance kind of violations. But I don't know if that's
I think that
enough
answers my question.
Okay.
I appreciate that. And the main thing I am comforted to hear is that at least they're receptive and they're relying on us to help come back into compliance. And so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
No one signed in, so Mr. McWhorter.
My office reviewed these items and we recommend approval of the proposed orders.
Thank you. I think it's appropriate to go ahead. Mr. Lindley?
I agree. I move that we adopt items 7 through 36 as recommended today by the executive director.
The motion has been made. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you.
That brings us to item number 37, the public comment session. We don't have anyone signed in to speak at this time. So that takes us to the end of the posted items for open session. And items 38 through 41 are for closed session, and the commission will not meet in closed session today.
The time is 9:50, and we are adjourned.